Hello, happy December 18th. It's time for another rare episode of Vlogmas. And what is this? What it's a shark, whale with feet and legs. I don't know. It's the coolest thing ever. So as you know, I do not understand 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. Perhaps I'm just stupid, and my brain just stopped learning after Pathfinder. I don't know. There's just every time I think I understand this game, and I get it, I'm like, oh, I get it now. It's okay. It's whatever. Something new shows up, and I'm like, what? 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 How? Because I'm like playing this game, and this guy, I think he's playing a warlock. He says it's a warlock. And I'm looking at what the warlock does in the player's handbook, but next thing I know, he's throwing out healing bolts that do a D8 each, and he can do 3 of these all the time, apparently. Like, you get a D8, you get a D8, you get a D8 of healing. It's like way more powerful than a healing word. What? And you don't have a limit to these things? And the next thing I know, I pull out my 2-handed sword. You're a warlock. How do you get a 2-handed sword? Oh, the pact blade thing. Okay, and it does 3d6. No, it doesn't. It says right here it does the exact same amount of damage as the actual weapon. So that's 2d6. Why are you doing 3d6? And I still get to throw my Eldritch Bolt. It's like, now you're just making shit up. So it forced me to relook at the Warlock class. And I gotta admit, it's a weird choice. Now, we know Warlocks were in 4th at the very, very end before 4th crashed and burned. That's a topic for another video. But why do we need them in 5th? Because we already have 2 major league arcane casters. Well, we have the wizard, who is still the king of the arcane. And with the new upgrades that the wizard has gotten in 5th, there's like, wow, wizards are just kick ass now. I mean, they get a D6 hit points now, and they got all these new weird choices, and the specializations actually make sense and give them extra bonuses. And if you throw in like a level of cleric or something, wizards kick ass. I mean, yeah, they always kicked ass, but you had to wait till you could cast Fireball before you could kick ass. Now wizards can kick ass. And then we get the sorcerers, who are also an arcane caster and a carryover from previous editions, so I can understand why. But sorcerers are just sort of weird now and don't really make a lot of sense. But okay, I can see why you'd want to have them still hanging around. Actually, no, I don't. But okay. And then it's like at the last minute, they just threw in Warlocks because they needed another arcane caster. Because there's only 2, plus bards. So really, you know, bards are also quasi-arcane casters. But we're not going to talk about bards. We're going to talk about this shark with the legs. So you got, you know, Cleric and Druid as your major league divine casters. Now, we're not going to count the partial casters like Ranger, or Paladin, or whatever, Arcane Trickster. So I can see the reason for wanting 2 arcane casters to balance out the 2 divine casters. You know, wizard and sorcerer. But then they throw in warlock, like why? And, you know, the warlock doesn't really make any sense because, A, warlock could have been a specialization of wizard. Here's your special abilities. You use demons and you throw this extra bolt of demon energy and blah, blah, blah. Or warlock could have been a bloodline for sorcerers. We call it the infernal bloodline or the sorcerer warlocky bloodline. But they make it a separate class. Okay, fine. You want an extra divine caster who's a little bit more demonic. But then isn't that just a cleric who worships Orcus or some other demon guy who's throwing demon spells instead of healing spells? I mean, you got this nebulous patron, and he gives you some special abilities. In exchange, you do things for him occasionally. That kind of sounds a lot like a cleric, but you don't get to wear armor. And you really only have one thing that you do really, really well. If you look at Warlock, Eldritch Blast is it. It's their big thing. I mean, it is an incredible cantrip, and they can do it whenever they want. D10, 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 D10. And it's built that you can power up the Elder's Blast to do all sorts of ridiculous video game level stuff, like be sticky. I mean, that's just cool. I don't know why it couldn't have been a wizard spell, or it couldn't have been a cleric option, or it couldn't have been an option, a bloodline for sorcerer, but still. But like, oh, you get this patron, and then you have to choose this thing, and the patron gives you one set of stuff, and choosing the thing gives you another set of stuff, and then you also have your spattering of spells, but your spells really suck, and the ways Warlock can pick spells is like just totally pathetic. I mean, you end up like running a 6th level Warlock, and you're still only like got 3 spells in the cylinder, so you're relying on your Pew Pew Eldritch Blast anyways. So what? They wanted an arcane caster that could wield a 2-handed sword, so they made Pact of the Chain, the blade. Uh, it's just a weaker sorcerer now because it's also charisma based. So I don't understand why. Because everything a warlock does and is built about, I get my powers from my patron, could have been a cleric build, or a sorcerer bloodline, or even a choice for wizards. So why add the extra class? Just to have a class the tieflings could be? I don't know. It makes no sense. The bloodlines don't really make a lot of sense. The packs don't really make a lot of sense. I mean, yeah, now if you take Pact of the Chain, you get the cool familiar that wizards lost, because now you can have an imp or a pseudo-dragon, and it does all the imp pseudo-dragon stuff. All the stuff that wizards lost when their familiars became these nerfed little Pokemon, you get. So that's cool. So I guess Warlock is the wizard that wizards used to be, because they get a cool familiar that can actually do shit, and they're glass cannons that can throw out a lot of damage, but if you like nick them with a toothpick, they're dead. And then they threw in some extra stuff to make all the emo mouth-breathing teenagers who are into hot demon chicks be like, oh, I love this class. It lets me wield a 2-handed sword and cast a d10 damage and heal. And I'm just like, yeah, Travis, I just don't understand the Warlock, which is, I don't understand what they did with sorcerers either. Sorcerers used to be sort of cool. They were kind of like the grungy artist of magic, like a wizard is the scientist of magic, and sorcerers kind of just reach into magic and pull shit out, and they don't know what's going to happen, but it's art. And they get all the stuff from their bloodline coursing through them. But, what, they got 2 choices now? Chaos and Dragon, and the Chaos just makes no sense because you can only get the cool stuff if you roll a 1. So it's just like we got all the classes that we know and love, and then we're we got some extra pages, so let's throw in a really weird version of Sorcerer, and we still got 3 pages left. Oh, fuck, Tassin Warlock. It was in 4th. People liked it, right? Yeah, people liked it because of the teleporting thing, because Pact, the bloodline with the fairy, allowed you to have this ridiculous teleporting, and that was unbelievably broken, especially with the rules on movement in 4th edition and the way you could shift. And you get that with the teleporting from the Fairy Pact. Oh my god. Warlock with the Fairy Pact was ridiculous in 4th, but that's not around and now in 5th, so I don't really see. And I still do not understand Warlock was healing. Somebody explain that to me, because I just don't know. Because I can't find any spell that lets you toss out 3d8 verses of healing, throw them out like magic missiles, so it's 3d8 at range. You can just, you get a d8 of healing, you get a d8 of healing. Charlie, you're so all the way over there on the other side of that couch, you get a d8 of healing, because I'm a Warlock. Merry Christmas, losers. I'll talk to you soon.